Hello learners, Namaskar. I am Pragya welcoming you in your YouTube channel English Seeker. Today I will discuss about the third chapter of the book First Flight, and the title of the chapter is Two Stories About Flying. So its first story is his first flight. I think that I will provide you two videos related to this. In the very first video I will discuss about the author of this chapter and the summary of the chapter. In the second one I will discuss about the character sketches of important character of this chapter and the key points of this chapter. So let's start the very first chapter. So when we will talk about the writer of this chapter, I mean this title, his first flight. So the writer of this chapter is Liam O. Flashart, who was born in 1896 and died in 1984. He was an Irish novelist and short story writer who has also worked as a lumberjack, hotel porter, miner, factory worker, dishwasher, bank clerk, and deckhand. He also took part in the revolutionary activities in Ireland. Later, he settled in England. He has written many books, including The Neighbor's Wife, and The Black Soul. His story of a tormented former soldier who seeks tranquility on a remote western island, The Informer, was adapted as an Oscar-winning film by John Ford in 1935. So I hope that you have understood that he wrote a book, and when a film just made on that book, and the title of the book was The Informer. So that book was Oscar winning film. So if we will talk about the summary of this chapter, so his first flight chapter can be divided into three major parts. The very first is the fear of flying, to seagull. The second is mother knows best. The second heading may be mother knows best, and the third heading may be his first flight. And what were the reactions of his family after when he took his first flight? So let's see. When the chapter started, so the fear of flying. A young seagull. This is a story about a young seagull. So in it, the young seagull was the only one left to take flight in his family. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away by day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. His father and mother had tried everything to make him fly, but they had failed. Finally, they left him alone without food for 24 hours. Since then, nobody had come near him. He watched his parents teaching his siblings to fly, skim, to waves, and to dive for fish. When he still did not fly, they taunted him for his cowardic behavior or for his cowardic nature. Mother knows everything. So this heading also may be here. So it was a new day. On the second, just after 24 hours, it was a new day. The young seagull had not eaten anything since the previous evening, and he was just mad with hunger by now. But his fear was no less. So he resorted to other tricks, like pretending to fall asleep on the edge of the ledge. No one took any notice of him, but all the while his mother kept an eye on him. Her efforts were still on. To motivate him, she tore a piece of fish that lay at her feet and taunted him. The sight of the food maddened the young seagull. He cried out, begging her to just provide him the food, or begging to give him some food. She only screamed back diversely. She just tried to tease him. Then he was filled with joy when the young seagull saw that his mother was coming near to him. He saw that his mother has picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out, but she stopped short of him with the fish dangling from her beak. He dove forward at the fish, and in the next moment he fell over. His first flight. So it is going to be explained here that how did he took his first flight. So he fell headlong into the water below and was terrified. Then he felt his wings spread outwards. He began to soar downwards and outwards or upwards. He was no longer afraid. His mother swooped past Then his father flew over him, screaming. His two brothers and his sister flew around him. He then flew over the sea, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw that his parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green floating ahead of him, floating, it means on the sea surface. So he dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright. Then his belly touched the sea. He found he could float. So his family gathered around him, praising him, offering him pieces of fish. He had made his first flight in this manner or by this way. So after reading this chapter, I think that you have understood very well that what the story is about. The story is about the fear of a young seagull regarding flying. It shows his fear as he tries to fly off a cliff and how his family treats him. His mother features prominently in the story as the one who tries to motivate him and help him overcome his fear. So it is in the next video I will provide you the key point and the character sketch of the mother seagull and the young seagull. If you have any other queries related to this chapter, so you can ask, you can write in comment box. Definitely I will try to solve your problem. Till then I have a humble request to all of you to subscribe the channel if you are watching the video, so definitely you will get the notifications, instant notification for this. So thank you all of you.